Hey guys, Lou's Strike King Pro, Andy Montgomery, and you know, we get the question, why is skipping so important? It's basically because shade is that important. Bass love shade. It's that simple, and the most effective way to fish any type of shade is to learn to be a good skip caster. And one of the most important deals on skipping a bait is your rod and reel setup. You know, I really like a high-speed reel just because I'm skipping way under there. It's going to be a lot of slack in my line, and I need to get that fish out really quick. That's also important in your rod. I actually use a pretty stiff rod, and I call it the 80-20 action. I want the last 20% of my rod to have some tip, and that's going to allow me to shoot that bait underneath the dock or the overhanging tree or whatever, but I want 80% backbone. So just like the high-speed reel, I can get that fish on, I can hook him and get him out of there really fast and get him out in open water, and then I can put him on score tracker or whatever and you know, get him to the scale. So 80-20 action, 20% tip, 80% backbone. Length is really important. I'm a tall guy, so most of the time I use a 7-1 rod. If you're a shorter guy, then you need to use like a 6-9. And the reason you do that is because the skipping action is actually more of an underhanded 45 to the water action. If you use too long of a rod, what's going to happen is it's going to force you to be sidearm. I can skip with a long rod, I can skip with any length rod, but to be deadly accurate, you better get the right length rod for however tall you are, and that way you can make the little short underhand cast and be really accurate and get it in there and get him out. So rod, reel, it's all very important to getting that fish under shade. When you're talking about shade situations, there's so many different scenarios. Trees, docks is obviously the first thing that comes to mind. Laydowns, you may have limbs up and you really want to get to the base of the tree, so you might have to skip it under some lay. It don't matter to me. Whatever creates shade, I'm gonna skip it under. If I see somebody swimming in the water, I'm gonna tell them to hold their arm up. I'm gonna skip under the arm, see if one's hiding in that shade. So just getting the proper setup to skip in shade, because bass love shade, is gonna help you catch more fish. You know, when you're setting your reel up to be able to skip the bait into shade, I start by turning this to 0, turning it off, and then I'm gonna set this side first. And what I wanna do is take all the play out of the reel spool. You can hear it kind of clicking. I'm just gonna keep taking it out until it's gone. And when it's gone, I'm gonna start backing off till I can just barely feel this. This is really easy to do before you put line on. You can feel it a little better. And once I get it set to right where you take the tension out of the spool, then I'm gonna forget about this side. Then I'm gonna use this magnetic side. And when you're learning to cast, then you're probably gonna want to turn it all the way up, maybe to 10. You're not gonna be able to cast as far, but it's gonna really reduce your backlashes. This side, the magnetic side, is more important in reducing backlashes than your right side. So get this set to where you take all the tension out of the spool and then forget about it. Turn this side to 10. This is a really important side to reduce your backlashes. Once you get a little bit better, you get a little bit better thumb control, then you can start backing off of this down to like 6 or 7 is what I typically use mine on, and you're gonna be able to get distance out of the cast. So learning, turn it all the way up to 10. It's really gonna greatly reduce your backlashes. Once you get a little better, increase your distance on skipping, you can turn this down to 6, 7, something like that.